if you're someone who's obsessively checking their phone and you are waiting for a message from that special someone and you're not getting it, and you keep checking and checking and checking, and you know now that it's causing a lot of pain in you, if that is the case, then in this video I will tell you a story of someone who went through that and someone who healed this issue. And I want to add also that there's going to be two elements to it. There's one which is the inner work, and the second part is about the feminine. The feminine, her needs, and how it's linked with anxious behavior. So let me start by giving you some context. So this woman was in a relationship, in a new relationship with a man. They had been together for a few months. And suddenly this man had to leave, and she had to follow him, join him like a few months after, 2 months or something after. And so they had this moment where they were separated. And in that moment, most of the time they connected with each other through messages, right? Through messaging. And what was causing her pain was that she would find herself checking her phone over and over again throughout the day. And sometimes she would get a message, but most of the time she wouldn't, because it was very obsessive. She was checking her phone sometimes every minute, sometimes every half an hour, and so on and so forth. So it was too much. Obviously, she couldn't get that many messages, right? And this was causing her pain, but she couldn't stop it. She would tell herself to stop, but she knew she would go back to it over and over again. So at the beginning, what she had to do was that she needed to realize that each time she was looking for that message out there, she was actually running away from something that was happening inside of her. So again, if you find yourself in a situation like that, I want you to realize that if you're reaching outside of you, there is something here that is bothering you, that is maybe painful or something else, and you're not facing it, you're not going towards it, you're running away. And so the more you run away from it, the more it will go against, it will haunt you, it will run after you. And why is it running after you? Because it's a part of you, right? So in that moment, the first thing that she did was that she started using her need to go to check the phone as a way to connect herself, with that part in her. Which means this. So if you are in a situation like that, and you find yourself going towards the phone, I want you in that moment to pause for a second. And in that moment, I want you to tell yourself, to reassure yourself that you're not stopping yourself from checking the phone, right? You're not resisting it. Because that's the thing. We go into, oh my God, I have to stop checking the phone. And so we restrict ourselves, which is even worse, right? Right? Because there's the part of you that wants to check that message. So you're restricting it, and now you're going against it, so there's a war happening. So the first thing is you tell yourself that if need be, you will check that phone. You will do it. But just for a few seconds, you just want to be with yourself before you check that phone. So you're not resisting it. You can actually even imagine yourself checking that phone so that part calms down. And in that moment, I want you to sit down with yourself, take a few deep breaths in and out, If you have someone next to you, that's even better. And then I want you to feel into what is happening inside your body. Literally, when you are reaching out for that message to check your phone, what is happening inside of you? And start locating, just scan through your body and locate where there is some tension happening. There's something stronger happening, more sensations are coming up. You can feel them, right? And in that moment, I want you to feel into those sensations and just describe them. You're just someone sitting next to another person, to a part of you, and you're letting them express themselves. So you're not telling them to heal, you're not telling them to change, you're not telling them to stop, checking the messages, you're not doing any of that. You're just there with them, right? So you can even put your hand on that part, on where, those sensations are strongest. And you can say, I'm here with you. I've got you. I'll be here for as long as you need me to. Right? And again, if we need to check that message, you will do that. You're not restricting yourself. This is very important, right? That's why I'm saying it over and over again. Excuse me. And then as you do that part will start softening, right? And because it could be a part that is painful, and maybe there is fear, there's sadness, a lot of things may be there. I'd like you also to have something, excuse me, a pad next to you, so that you can start writing down everything that is coming up. So you start by describing what is here, right? What is in that place that is triggered. So maybe it's big, it's soft, it's contracted. How does it feel like? What's the texture? And even as I'm saying it, you could be doing it even now with me. If you just did it for a few seconds, it's more than enough. Just pause the video and just write down the questions and just answer them. Excuse me. And then you continue with that. You see everything. You go into the description and you're so curious about it. It's like you're with that part, it's in pain, and you're there and you're asking it. You're saying to it, I'm here with you. Tell me everything about you. I will be here with you for as long as you need me to, right? Tell me more, tell me more. All the descriptions, bring them on. I'm here with you, right? And so as you do that, it will come up, right? You'll start feeling it. There's a softening, a relief that will happen. Maybe there is a strengthening of certain emotions that will come up, because that part, at last, it can open up, it can express itself, because it hasn't been able until now, right? And so you're with that, and as it goes, at some point there's going to be thoughts. Even from the beginning, but I just want you to, even with the thoughts, write them down. Even if the thoughts come over and over again, it's the same thought, I want you to write it down. You're honoring it as it is. You're not censoring it. You're not telling yourself this shouldn't be here, this shouldn't be there. You're just being with it. And so they can come up over and over again. And if a thought comes up over and over again, it's just because there's a blockage and you're not going further. And the more you do that, the more you let it out, at some point it will just open up and you'll go deeper. And so you write it down, and the writing is important, especially when you feel triggered. There's something grounding about that, right? And again, you're just a scientist that is writing, that is just seeing things. You're very impersonal in that moment. You're letting it happen. You're completely there with that part. And so as you do that, you'll start understanding. Number one is that you will start feeling connected with yourself. And that disconnection that is happening every time you go towards the message. Because every time you go towards seeking that message, you're actually abandoning yourself. And that's painful. And so the more you abandon yourself, the more you're trying to find something out there to heal, as a balm for that pain of abandonment, right? You're trying to find your tonic, your medicine there. It's just that you don't know how. And so in that moment, as you connect back to yourself, as you start saying things like, I've got you, I'm here with you, you're giving that to yourself, right? And so that pain starts ebbing away. And you may have to do that over and over again, because that part may have been in pain for a long time. So it needs, to heal, and it needs a little bit of time. It also needs to start connecting with itself, and it needs to start connecting with you and trusting you, right? Knowing that you will not abandon it. And so it's a process, and you will at some point abandon it, and it's fine. You go back to that moment again. Ooh, okay, I abandoned you, right? And you go and you stay with that. You don't chastise it. Yes, it has happened. Yes, it may happen. And I'm here with you, even if you abandon yourself, right? Like it just becomes this unconditional connection with that part and with yourself. So I hope this is clear. So as she did that, as this person did that, she started feeling calmer and calmer. She started connecting with herself, and she started using that trigger as a way to empower herself, right? And so she felt more solid, more clear, and more connected with herself, which is beautiful, right? Now, what happened later on, which is the second element I want to talk about, is that she said that she felt much better, everything was okay, and yet she still would go back to checking her messages. Even though it wasn't this feverish, obsessive type of checking like it was before, it still was, there was some kind of compulsion. She still felt a certain anxiety, and she still checked those messages, and she wouldn't get them, right? And so she was like, but why is this happening? I mean, I've done the work, so why am I still there? And this is where I want you to understand that when you do the work, the number one thing that we delude ourselves with is that we think we will do that inner work, and then we can live as we did before. We don't have to change anything in our lives. That's what we think. We really think it's something inside of us that we need to correct, we need to heal, and then we'll just keep on living like we did before. And that's not the way it is. And this is why many people stop actually meditating. It's not because meditation is difficult, it's because they have to make a choice. They have to make a different choice in their lives, and they're not doing it. And so it becomes too painful to meditate, and they stop. So anyways, in this case, what happened was that she healed a certain wound in her. She connected with herself. And now the second part came in, the second layer or the third layer came in. And in that layer, she started knowing her nature. It's a layer that we all go through in healing. It's like you heal the wound, and then you start knowing your nature. And the first nature that you start knowing is your temporal self. You start knowing about what you need, you want, about your boundaries. And then it goes even deeper, where you start knowing the universe. And so you start plunging into mystical laws and really grasping the universe in general. And in this case with her, what happened was that she started connecting with the feminine in her, the feminine archetype. And she started, and the feminine, and let me explain what the feminine archetype is about before I go on. The feminine archetype is a very specific pattern that has a very specific power to her. And this archetype is an archetype that the energy of this archetype is the energy of water. It's fluid. So the power of it is that if you have a dominant feminine archetype, when you come into a room, your energy will flow everywhere. It's so flowy, it's malleable, it doesn't change things. It takes the form of what is outside. And the strength of this archetype is that your energy goes, it's like tentacles going out. You will feel, it's like your energy goes and molds onto other people's shapes, patterns, behaviors, etc. And as it takes that shape, you start knowing what all those people are about. You start feeling into their patterns. You start feeling into their behaviors. You start feeling them. And you start knowing them, right? And that's the beauty of this archetype. When you're completely in it, you will feel the room. You'll feel the people. You will know who's dangerous, who's not. The problem with this archetype is that it's not solid. And you're literally exposed to everything. When you're in the feminine archetype, it's like being a leaf in the wind. You are at the mercy of everything around you. You can be snatched away at any time. That's the fragility of this archetype. You see, it has its power and it has its fragility. And that's why the outer masculine is needed, because the outer masculine is very solid. It's structured. The feminine is not, it's chaotic, right? And so the masculine takes in the feminine. And so imagine that you have a cup. The cup is the masculine, and the water inside is the feminine. As the cup holds the water can do its thing. It can be completely in its own nature, right? And so I want you to see this, and I want you to understand that feminine part. So this person has a very dominant feminine. And because because she has that feminine, she needs to have something solid around her to be completely herself. Because otherwise she will stiffen up. right? She will start going into it, and it's very, it's a feeling of anxiety that comes in each time the feminine has no solid part that is holding her. There is going to be a feeling of anxiety. There's going to be a feeling like you're astray, not claimed, and you're all over the place, and you're exposed to everything. And that's what she was feeling. And her feminine nature was telling her about a need that she wanted. And in that moment, the need that she wanted was messages from him, from this boyfriend of hers, that she needed very regular messages. And that regularity was the solidity that she was looking for. When she started realizing that he did send her regular messages, very specific type of messages, because she was very clear about what she wanted. When she started getting that anxiety went away. So what I'm trying to tell you here is that anxiety is not something to heal. It's your guiding system. Your feminine is going to talk to you through that anxiety. It will talk to you in different ways. I just don't want to go all over the place here. But one of the ways is that anxiety. And that anxiety is that feeling of being exposed, right? Of being too vulnerable in that moment. I don't know, too vulnerable, that's of being exposed. And if you feel that way, it's not about you healing that in the sense that you integrate it and it goes away. No, it's actually a part of you telling you a need that you have. And so you need to go towards it and find ways to fulfill those needs. And in her case, that's what she did. She started being very clear about the fact that she needed those messages. And maybe there are other things, but I just wanted to focus on the messages now. And that the regularity and the masculine is about structure. It's about regularity. So it comes very naturally for the masculine to give it. If the masculine is clear about what the feminine needs, right? And so that regularity was the solidity that she was looking in that moment. And it's just amazing because it went away. The anxiety went away. There was this incredible feeling that she had, because she told me that she felt so good listening to herself, and that she felt that she could trust herself, right? More, which is amazing. And the fact that she could, express it to him, which connected her with him even more, which is beautiful, right? And so, this is a happy ending. And so I hope you got something from this. I hope it will help you connect more with your partner. I hope you use the feminine, you listen to the feminine, and use it as a way to forge deeper connections with your partner. If you have any questions, any comments, let me know down below. Ciao, ciao.